Nyaradzo Mashayamombe, and welcome to this show, Identities Umhlobo Zvatiri, the show that talks about your social lives, your economic life, your political life, religious life, everything that affects our lives. I have the privilege today of having us talk about body politics, a topic very close to my heart. To help me discuss this topic today is my dear sister. Welcome, Rejoice Makawa, to the show.
Thanks, Nyari, and hello, viewers.
And I have a young woman, a beautiful young woman here today to tell us about what this all means to young women. Welcome, Melissa, to the show.
Thank you, Nyari.
And today we want to talk about the issue of skin lightening and bleaching. Tell me, my sister Rejoice, how has that been for you? What's been your experience with skin lightening and bleaching?
Nyari, it would seem that the trend at the moment in recent times is that our girls or our women are under a lot of pressure to look beautiful.
Right.
And beautiful seems to be being defined by how light you look. This term, yellow bone, seems to be taking over, and a lot of people seem to associate being light with being beautiful. And that has been my experience in recent times.
You are a woman who cuts across a couple of generations in your, as far as your own age is concerned, but as far as also your work experience is concerned. I want you to tell me, how was it in your time of growing up from being young to teenage? And then now as a maturing woman, how is that for you?
You know what, Nyari? The issue of looking beautiful through lightening or changing the shade of your skin has always been there, even generations before mine. I remember in my mother's times, a product that was called Ambi. They use and they called it kuyuza. We now call it bleaching, but you find the kuyuza. And madzimai aizora Ambi even before our time. In our time, as technology has come up, my products are going to change and become more refined and what have you. But it has always been there, and people have always been known to do it.
But why are they doing it? And maybe I'll hear from Melissa. How is skin bleaching and skin lightening in your generation, Melissa?
Well, in my generation, I would like to think that bleaching is actually a choice. But then behind that choice, comes insecurities, different reasons why people are bleaching. It could include like insecurities. Someone wants to protect, like let's take for instance from my campus at school. Someone would want to protect like their relationship, right? And then probably they have like a boyfriend, and then the boyfriend has cheated on them with a light-skinned girl, and then they would want to impress and secure that certain relationship, so they would tend to bleaching. So it's all about being content with how you look.
A young woman is cheated on. That's a problem already. And then instead of addressing the problem that somebody is cheating on them, they go on to think that it's their fault that this person is cheating. How does that happen for young women?
Well, it all comes back to like what I was saying before. It all comes back to the way you were brought up. Like, you know, the way we were when we were growing up, that girls are always inferior to boys, right? So it comes back to that issue where you're saying it's your problem. That's the reason, like you are the reason why the male counterpart is cheating on you.
Wow.
Nyari, it's not even just about the young women. I think it's just a women's phenomenon. We've been socialized to believe that we have a role to play in pleasing our men. And if our men go out there and stray, it is because of something that we have done. The responsibility has always been on women. That's a traditional and a cultural issue.
I'm hearing that, and I agree with that?
Yes.
At what point are we going to take responsibility as women and say, at some point, yes, I understand women who are under pressure, but at some point as women, do you not think that we are supposed to then get to a place where we're empowered and define who we want to be as
That's
women?
an ideal situation, my sister. In an ideal world, we should be so empowered
But what
that we
stops
make
Rejoice?
that we make decisions based on who we are and where we want to go.
Right.
But at the moment, we live in a world where the rules of engagement are determined by men. So I can understand a young girl being under pressure to bleach her skin purely because her boyfriend has gone and cheated. Because he has cheated with a lighter skinned girl. She then thinks, saka ndikanoyuzawo, ndikaitawo lighter, then this man is not going to go and cheat on me. And that is a problem. It is historical. That is how we are raising the girl children until such a time as we socialize our girls to become content with who they are.
Okay, so Melissa, we're hearing what Rejoice just said, the mature women coming in the mix, and also her narrative that it's actually us women. But coming to you, we interacted earlier on, and you told me that you've never felt the pressure to bleach. How is it that we on the right have a young woman who is so desperate to please a man to bleach, and then on the left we've got another woman, another young woman who's never felt the pressure to bleach? How is that?
I think it all comes back to values. Like, what do you value most? Like, as a young lady, I am content with my dark skin, right? So even if man would go to another lady because she's light skinned, well, I'll let him like go ahead, and because that's what he wants.
Because I was going to come and ask you to say, Melissa, isn't it that just that you've never been put on the spot to need to change? Usually, is it not that probably you've never been like hit by this cyclone that, oh, well, he went with a yellow bone, therefore I need to be yellow bone?
Well, I've had that kind of experience, but then like I'm saying, it comes back to your values. What do you value most as a person, as a young person? And it comes back to that essence that, are you empowered? But then like Rejoice was saying, we still have a patriarchal society where a girl child is meant to believe that she is inferior to the boy child. So hence, even if a man cheat, even if a man do all sorts, it all comes back to that responsibility that it is my problem. So yeah, that's the reason why most young women are tending to
bleaching.
bleach.
You had it, viewers. We're gonna take a break and join us in the next segment. Don't go away. To this show, Identities Umhlobo Zvatiri, a show that talks about your issues. And today we're discussing about the body politics, issues of politics of beauty, where we're discussing issues of skin lightening and bleaching. And before we went away, we spoke to the ladies. We were hearing how women begin to think about bleaching or skin lightening, and the young women were also telling us about what it is that causes them to want to bleach, the inadequacies, the insecurities in keeping relationships. We learned about the issues of patriarchy and socialization, but it wouldn't be a discussion to talk about these issues that affect all of us without the men. I am very happy to introduce you guys to an amazing guy called Mitchell. And Mitchell, I know you as a controversial guy, but but we hear your story. We want to hear your story in this segment. But I hope that you can help us discuss this issue. Mitchell, tell us about, you had the topic, you had the ladies talking. What is it that is about you men that drives women to want to bleach?
What is it? First and foremost, thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
What drives women to
what is it about men that drives women and girls to want to bleach?
Okay, I'm inclined to side with what Rejoice said, and even what Melissa was saying. The concept of socialization, and it said that we raise our lovely daughters to assume and to believe that the whole existence of a woman is to be called Mrs. Something.
Okay.
To be married. So when women at some point, I think it's a new trend. It's a 21st century trend. It started around, but well, it's been around because there was Ambi back in the day.
My names are kuchinja. Amagama yachinja, like today you hear about skin bleaching, yellow bone, and by user. I mean, it's always been the real, but the concept of bleaching and skin lightening.
No, it goes now. The statistics are quite damning in that a recent survey alluded to the fact that almost 70% of men would prefer a lighter skinned woman to a darker skinned woman, even though their beauty is at par. And it goes back again to the socialization, not only of women but of us. Why do we why do we have dolls, like those Barbie dolls, that are lighter skinned than those of color?
Well, I would say that because I think those are now talking about the issues even of issues of access, issues of how we started with these dolls. Vakatanga dolls ndanani, these are white created dolls, and it's immediate. It's probably
allow
natural.
me to say that it's actually systematic and institutional, and I don't want to wax political, but it may be.
It's very political. The personal is political.
The personal is political. All right.
Yes.
It may actually be a systematic and an institutional attack on what defines us as black.
To mean that institutional and political.
Zvigadzirwa hatitika zvinoda kuti tive ngeganda redu. Why is it everything that is good is deemed white magic, but uroiwa black magic?
Right.
The knight in shining armor pamafilm atinoona tichikura sevana is always white, but the villain is black. Do you get where we're going?
I do.
So we grow up as people who love things that are white.
Right.
And disdain that is which is
Would
black.
you then think that is it probably that also our men are also victims of socialization? To say my next question was pressure yekurora vakadzi vatsvuku iri kubvepi ivela ngapi pressure lay?
I would say from TV, because whether we like it or not, entertainment or media is let me get to what I'm trying to say. The media is now a form of socialization, right? And the heroes that we have as guys, for instance, soccer stars.
Yes.
They come from Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and they go and play in the English Premiership. When it's award ceremony and they are with their wives or girlfriends on red carpets, a very dark guy from Nigeria is with a
white woman.
Yes. And to some, to the easily impressionable, that becomes a sign of arriving.
What does Mitchell define as arriving? Is it not that maybe if a light-skinned woman or a white-skinned woman is part of that inadequacy, then when you arrive at something, then you think, I should then have that which I couldn't have?
You look at Mitchell, whose ancestors were brutalized, emasculated by white people back in the day due to colonialism. It's an ugly and hateful past, but it happened. Right? My ancestors were brutalized and emasculated. Right? And then to me now, the very same people, or the kith and kin of the same people who were emasculating my ancestors, she becomes my woman or my wife. Someone may see that as having arrived.
Because what you have then done is you've gone and conquered that which brutalized and made you a slave before.
Okay, I love that definition. But is it also not true that there is also, because especially in our context, especially in Africa or in Zimbabwe, where we have fewer maybe white folks, where then it is probably something not necessarily in the conquering, but also in the wanting to arrive with murungu, akazorora murungu, but not in the sense of arriving, but in the sense of saying something chiri superior. You understand the difference that I'm trying to
I hear you. It's multifaceted.
Yes.
I think there's an element of it. In our being colonized, our minds were colonized. And our minds were colonized to believe that everything Western and everything white is better than black.
Right.
And in that now, there's that element that wants to then be white, be Western,
Right.
because zvinongonzi zviri nani than the black.
And the black, yes.
And yet the other side iri kuti right, ndomukaurisi ndotomuroora chete murungu iye, ndotomuroora chete just to show them kuti they are not better than us. Saka zvine
And it would seem that
maybe 2 or 3%. So what do we say, Mitchell, as we wrap up this segment? What is it that we can say to the listener? Because this
what I can say to the
is not
listener
okay.
as a man primarily is this: as a woman, if the moment you become confident in your skin,
Right.
understand that you are going to become very, very attractive. You're going to. You look at Lupita Nyong'o, that Kenyan, very dark and.
Oh, you look at us here.
Why go to Lupita?
Okay,
What's the problem?
I look at the 3 wonderful women who are surrounding me here. Very comfortable in your own skin.
in their own skin,
That becomes attractive.
Do you know, I had a hard time getting somebody who bleached to come on the show. But anyway, we will get into that. We finally got, but please, yeah.
That becomes attractive. And secondly, as a woman again, speaking on behalf of men, don't lose yourself, right? Trying to gain Mitchell, because you gain Mitchell, right? Who suppose wants a slim, bleached girl, and then things will not work out with Mitchell. And then Brian wants a full-bodied woman like
With
Rejoice
with the melanin intact.
What are you going to do?
Viewers, you had it. Amazing, hot discussion here where I'm joined with Rejoice Makawa. We have Mitchell Gumbo.
Yes.
And we have Melissa helping us discuss about the issues of body politics, specifically about skin lightening and bleaching. We get into our next segment. Don't go away, because when we come back, we have an amazing dermatologist doctor joining us. I started using skin lightening products 2 years ago when I had chicken pox and was trying to get rid of the scars that were left by the chicken pox. I saw an advert on the internet that said that I was going to get wonderful results, and I saw the product on the streets for a very reasonable price, which I went for and I bought. But after 3 weeks of using the product, my face started peeling off in general. Where there were scars, they got darker, and the parts that were not affected by the chicken pox started turning into an orangish color. So in general, my experience was terrible, and I ended up having to go and see a dermatologist, which in the end costed me more money. So no, I will never buy a skin lightening product ever again, and I really regret what I had to do because of lack of knowledge. Welcome back to this show, Identities Umhlobo Zvatiri, where today we're talking about the politics of beauty, where we are also talking about skin bleaching and skin lightening. You had what the young women had to say, you had what the mature women had to say, you had what our men are saying. In this segment, I have the privilege of having the amazing Dr. Mtangadura, the dermatologist. Doctor, welcome to the segment.
Thank you.
You had, Doctor, what the women are saying, what the men are saying in Zimbabwe. You also watched that video of the young woman who had to go out and bleach. But before I speak to the doctor in you, I want to hear the father in you say something to the men out there, to the young men out there, to the young women out there, to the mothers out there.
My advice to everybody is to be proud of what you are, to be proud of your natural skin color. Be grateful for it, preserve it.
Wow. Doctor, tell me what dermatology does.
All right, I'll say dermatology is the study of the skin, hair and nails and the diseases associated with these organs.
Does it also mean that if I wanted to come in and have a skin bleaching or lightening, you could do that for me?
I normally don't do it, but there are some people who do have blemishes on their skins which they want bleached so that the skin looks even. That I'll do.
All right. Wow, that's the medical part of things.
Yes.
I want you to tell me, doctor, what has been your experience with your observation or your experience in your practice with men, women, young women about skin lightening and bleaching?
In my practice, I haven't really encountered many problems with men in regards to bleaching. It's a practice that is affecting mostly women. Yes.
Right.
I've had terrible experiences. Yes.
How terrible is a terrible experience in bleaching and skin lightening?
It depends. People use various things for bleaching. Usually they use, in Zimbabwe, what is most common is the use of steroids, potent topical steroids.
Wow.
And creams containing mercury and creams containing hydroquinone.
Right.
Yes. So the major side effects of steroids is that they will thin the skin. Apart from lightening the skin, they will thin it. So if the skin becomes thin, it breaks easily. Stretch marks form easily.
Wow.
Yes.
I think that explains it. Have you ever, viewer, have you ever been at a place where you see this woman is actually, so you can actually see finger, nerve, you can actually see those nerves,
the blood
vessels actually. Well, of course, we don't want to say every time we see somebody with those, we immediately judge them as skin bleaching, but it's interesting. Bleaching or skin lightening has gone wrong. What is the youngest woman or the oldest woman that you've had to help?
I've seen a 14-year-old.
A 14-year-old child?
Yes.
Wow.
And as regards females, even up to the age of 60, I've seen them, they are bleaching.
Wow. I think that is very much concerning to say. It's across ages, it's across all women of all ages. Would you tell us, doctor, is there anything good that could come out of skin lightening or skin bleaching?
There is nothing good. Because depending on what substance you are using to bleach, there is always the danger that you alter the composition of melanin in your skin. And melanin is a substance that protects us from the sun. So if you alter its composition, you are bound to get prone to skin cancers. Yes.
Then, but I was reading, doctor, where I was seeing that skin lightening or skin bleaching could actually be used for medical reasons.
If somebody has got vitiligo, which has affected over 50% of the body, the chances of a repigmentation of the skin are almost nil. So in some cases, it is justified to depigment the rest of the skin so that the skin color looks even.
And how expensive is that? For instance, if I had that, how affordable is that for a standard Zimbabwean?
It is not expensive at all. Yeah.
So, and I was also reading that, so if I still wanted to do skin lightening, I was reading that a doctor could assist someone in skin lightening, even if I don't have a problem with skin or something, and it's just a choice. What is your say on that?
I would not assist anyone in lightening the skin. For instance, nowadays what is in fashion is this intravenous injection, glutathione and glutathione tablets for bleaching the skin. In August last year at a conference in Spain, they did say that in the Philippines they had recorded over 9 deaths from the use of this glutathione.
Death from skin lightening or bleaching?
Yes.
Wow. And so what is it that you'd want us, doctor, to take away in terms of, if there is a viewer who's watching you, who's probably holding tablets, who's at the verge of going for a skin lightening process or bleaching, a woman who's bleaching, and if I want to stop bleaching, what are the pros and cons to that? Do I need to see a dermatologist? What is the procedure to stop and not have extensive bad side effects?
I think it's always better to see your physician, your GP, and then if there are already any complications, he or she can always refer you to a dermatologist.
Is it never too late? Is it ever too late to stop?
No, it's never too late.
Wow. We had it for ourselves. We had the young women earlier on, the mature women. We had the men. Now we've just had the dermatologist, amazing Dr. Mtangadura, who took time to come and speak to us. We hope that this segment was helpful to you. As a segment, we hope that you were able to make decisions, to be happy with the color of your skin, to be able to build other sources of confidence rather than going for skin bleaching or skin lightening, which is a danger itself, which is taking away the person that you are to please a person who could actually in the next moment decide to leave you anyway. The desire and the dream that we have is a world where every girl, every woman is empowered, or every woman is able to take pride, to take confidence in themselves, in other things, health, education, self-educate. This is Identities Umhlobo Zvatiri with Nyaradzo Mashayamombe. Until next time, goodbye.